When you can't fall asleep at night, why not watch a relaxing wilderness building video? It's the cure for late night insomnia. By the end, you'll drift peacefully into sleep. So cross your legs, grab your phone with about 80% battery, and slowly enjoy the soothing process with me. The man's name is Adu. An year to Wenwei Wu Wen Mu Benu Sabin. Because he couldn't understand his wife's sadness, he was mercilessly cast out of his hometown. After walking 2 kilometers, he arrived at a small creek. There, he surprisingly found 2 hollow coconut shells. Abin took a few more steps forward, and the sight before him was shocking. The creek was overflowing with coconut shells. Instead of letting them rot and pollute the water, why not put them to good use? Without hesitation, Abin threw all the shells onto the riverbank, stacked them neatly, and left them to dry. While waiting for them to dry, he noticed the opposite hillside. The slope sat by the river and the mountain, a perfect spot for building. But the terrain was too steep, so it needed some reshaping. He first cleared the weeds from the slope, then dug into the hillside with his tools. The rocks inside the slope also had to be removed. Luckily, Abin was strong and young, and with the blessing of his ancestral necklace, his digging speed was astonishing. In no time, he cleared an area about 30 square meters wide to transport building materials more easily. He built a simple stairway on the slope. Then he made a small dam bridge in the creek, making it much easier to go in and out. This way, he wouldn't waste too much energy walking through the water. Once everything was ready, Abin began building the main structure. He collected many straight logs from nearby, cut them to equal length, then dug holes according to the design of the house. In total, Abin dug 7 foundation pits. He then firmly planted the logs into the ground as the main pillars of his shelter. For the beams and the wall frames, he used thinner wooden sticks to weave them together. To make sure the frame was sturdy, he fastened every joint with nails. With his family's inherited building skills and 2.5 years of wilderness experience, it didn't take long for Abin to complete the main framework of the shelter. After hours of building, his clothes were soaked with sweat. So, without hesitation, he leaped into the creek like a fish jumping over the dragon gate. The cool water instantly washed away his exhaustion. After a short rest, he collected piles of dry grass from the nearby forest. He set the grass on fire, and when it burned to ash, he obtained high-quality plant ash, mixing it with yellow soil. Then adding fresh mountain spring water, he stirred it with a shovel. The addition of ash improved the toughness and durability of the soil mixture. Very soon, he had made a sticky, natural concrete for the walls. He used the coconut shells that had been drying, layer by layer mud, then coconut shells. He stacked them carefully, focused and precise. He soon completed a neat, solid wall. Coconut walls were not only great for insulation, but also lightweight, making the construction much easier for him. The rest of the walls followed the same method. Before long, the shelter stood proudly with all its walls finished. Feeling thirsty, he wandered nearby. The forest was full of wild fruits, sweet and sour. Eating them replenished his energy and water. For the roof, Abin already had a plan in mind. He collected bundles of green thatch grass, weaving them tightly together to form thick grass mats. One by one, he laid them across the roof beam. These thick grass mats became the roof cover, though the roof might look a bit rough. In this hot and humid rainforest, it provided excellent ventilation and breathability, while also blocking wind and rain. Considering his old aching legs, he went to the creek to gather smooth, round stones. He laid them across the shelter's floor, keeping the damp soil away, while making the place look more refined. With dampness and rheumatism prevented, it was time to protect his rest as well. He brought in thick logs and laid them one by one across a bed frame. The spacing created a kind of massage wooden bed. Abin tested it and was quite satisfied. Since the rainforest has big day-night temperature swings, a fireplace for warmth and cooking was essential. As a member of the Ailwu Waiwan family, building a fireplace was second nature to him. Wanting to move in before dark, he didn't stop for a moment. He split bamboo into flat strips to build the shelter's main door. With his weaving skills, he quickly produced a sturdy wooden door. Using the same technique, he also made a window. He tied the door firmly with natural hemp rope, creating a gate that opened and closed with ease. For the window, he added to supporting sticks, so he could always enjoy the view outside. Feeling cheerful, he walked to the creek. As an experienced fisherman, he couldn't ignore his hobby. Even while surviving in the wild, he adjusted his handmade fishing rods to avoid coming back empty-handed. He set up several rods at once. That way, he could return to camp and continue building in peace. Hoping to enjoy fresh vegetables too, he decided to build a small green garden by his hut. He first made a bamboo frame for the garden, then laid bamboo planks across it. This gave him 4 tiers of planting platforms. He placed the leftover coconut shells on them, setting down hundreds in one go. He then filled the shells with fertile soil and planted vegetable seeds inside. In no time, half a month passed in his hut. The seeds he had sown had grown into seedlings. Thanks to the location, watering them was effortless. Today, Abin still wanted to eat fish, and it seemed the heavens didn't disappoint him. As night fell, he lit candles around the shelter, The little hut instantly felt warm and cozy. When the firewood in the fireplace turned into charcoal, he placed the big fish on top to grill. Soon, the fish was crispy outside, tender inside, together with fresh vegetables from his garden. Abin was finally living a self-sufficient wilderness life. Life in a wild hut could truly be this carefree. Now, he no longer had to worry about being kicked out by his wife.